Welcome to Athletes Unlimited Softball on ESPN, presented by Topps. We're at the Village of Rosemont, just outside Chicago. Parkway Bank Sports Complex, our home over the next 2 weeks. Season 2 of AUX Softball. It's Team Mulipola and Team Garcia kicking off the season tonight here in Rosemont. The stars are out. These players are ready to go. If you're unfamiliar with Athletes Unlimited and AUX Softball, it is year 2. There are 42 world-class athletes here, 14 per team, 3 teams. We'll tell you all about the innovative scoring system as we go along, and in just 2 weeks, we will have a champion. They'll draft new teams at the conclusion of every series. Alongside the 2-time All-American Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kempf, and there are stars across the board. This season is so fast. It's so fast-paced and intense, you just never know what to expect.
Yeah, that's the one word, intense, that we heard from all the athletes yesterday when talking about this short 2-week AUX season. And the athletes that we're going to be watching, they're national champions, Olympians, All-Americans. This is a star-studded lineup. You mentioned it. I can't wait to get these games started, and it's going to be fast.
Well, this is a great matchup, too. We really like these two teams. Team Mulipola, this lineup is loaded. They're led by last year's championship season champion in Deja Mulipola in the middle of the order with her and Vidalis back-to-back. That's a lot of power.
Yeah, Deja Mulipola, the captain, putting herself right there in the cleanup spot. Love the fact, too, that Tori Vidalis is going to give her that protection in the 5 spot. It's a tough lineup to go up against today.
And on the other side, it is a rookie out of UCLA, Brooke Yanez, out of Ventura, California. Just finished her college career with 1 season at UCLA, a 16-game winner and a sub-2 ERA. This is that next level, though.
Yeah, first professional game. She gets her first professional start. If there are any nerves, they're going to have to go away quickly. Brooke Yanez is a phenomenal left-handed pitcher that mixes spin and movement, mixes her speeds very well. More of an upspin type pitcher who will mix in her curveball and her rise ball.
A lot of lefties in this lineup, especially to start off with Hayward and Aubrey Leach. Team Garcia favored in this one by a run and a half. We'll see. Anything can happen. Every single inning matters. These players individually are trying to climb the leaderboard, but there's such an emphasis on winning as a team, not just the game, but every inning is worth 10 points. The game is worth 50. And what you will realize if you're new to Athletes Unlimited is the folks at the top of the leaderboard not just are having individual success, but they're having great team success. And here we go, Victoria Hayward, the first player to ever sign for Athletes Unlimited. That's why she wears the number 1. She will lead things off, and we are ready for what should be an incredible 2 weeks of softball here in Rosemont. Yanez misses up and away, ball 1. Hitters in this league, the pitchers too, but this league offensively is scary. And you get that from all the pitchers. We got to watch them the other day practicing, getting ready, and they're not shy about telling you how good the hitters in this league are.
Yeah, the pitchers know that they have to work a little bit more off the plate, and they can't miss on. Heard that over and over again from all the pitchers.
Victoria Hayward last season at AUX in San Diego hit .512. She was in really primetime position to make a charge for the potential top spot on the leaderboard, but Team Canada had a bronze medal celebration back in Canada that she left for, and so she missed a couple games, still ended up finishing 13th on the leaderboard. And she has a leadoff walk.
You can see all the movement that Brooke Yanez has early in this game, not being able to quite find the strike zone with 4 balls in a row, but you can see these pitches breaking across the plate with her curveball and with her rise ball up and out of the zone.
She gets Aubrey Leach out of Tennessee in her 3rd year with Athletes Unlimited. Did not play AUX last year, but played in the championship season. Great bunt, and Leach is aboard. Back-to-back base runners here in the top of the 1st.
Next up is shortstop.
Just such good barrel control by Aubrey Leach to try to get the top of this pitch. It's a curveball, but it's also moving just a little bit up. She recognizes that Danielle Gibson is going to be anchoring back to first base, and nobody is going to be able to make a play. Good read of the defense by Aubrey Leach.
It's an infield single for Aubrey Leach, and that's 10 points for her on that leaderboard. As far as base hits are concerned, it's pretty simple. 10 for a single, 20 for a double, 30 for a triple, and 40 for a home run. As we get a look at Kaylee Clifton out of Wayne, Oklahoma, and just watched her Sooners pick up another national championship, the three-peat for Patty Gasso and company. And big news out of Norman today with Jordy Ball announcing that she will transfer, did not specifically mention a school, but said she will go back to her home state of Nebraska. But that's huge news.
Yeah, big time news across the college softball world for sure. The biggest breaking news. And I'm sure there will be more breaking news coming this summer too, just beginning.
The transfer portal, while I'm sure a headache for coaches and somewhat fans across the country, it makes for great storylines in the offseason. And of course, you always have the coaching carousel. Victoria Hayward there at second base. It's just announced today that Victoria Hayward and her teammate on Team Mulipola, Courtney Gano, are new assistant coaches for Heather Tarr at Washington. So she reshapes her coaching staff after a Women's College World Series run.
Going back home to where they played.
Ground ball right side. Ramirez quickly to Sis Bates. Another Washington Husky here at AUX. They've got their first out.
It's a big out for Yanez to go at Clifton and be able to get that force out at second base there, and just a little bit of soft contact. Saw Sis Bates just fly over to second base to try to get there to cover, and I think that that's why you're going to talk a little bit about some defensive movement. And remember, this team just playing together for the very first time. They've practiced a bit together over the last couple of days, but especially on defense, you see that communication and needing to know where each other are going to be whenever plays happen and in certain situations. Big out, though, for Yanez.
Communication that you talk about, so key in Athletes Unlimited. There are no coaches. Each team is assigned a facilitator that can kind of help with those duties. It's always interesting to see how captains utilize them, if they're more hands-on with how they run the team or more hands-off. Charlotte Morgan for Team Garcia, Danielle O'Toole, last year's AUX champion, is the facilitator for Team Mulipola. As we get a look at Deja for the first time, who was just tremendous all of last summer, third at AUX, the champion of the Athletes Unlimited Championship season, and hits this one foul down the left field line. Two-time National Catcher of the Year at Arizona. What stands out to you about Deja Mulipola and what she's been able to do, not just at the college level, but it's so much harder at the professional level when you don't have that training that you're used to?
Yeah, it's just her calmness in the box and her calmness back behind the plate, too. I mean, you look in her eyes, and she looks like she's been a professional athlete for 15 years and still fairly new to the pro league and the whole scheme of things compared to some other players that are playing in this league. But her power, too, Chucky.
Here's a look at that power into right center field and back to the warning track. A nice grab by Shannon Rhodes. It'll be a sacrifice fly as she brings in Hayward for the first run of the game. That sac fly worth 10 points for Mulipola, but a really nice catch by Rhodes in right.
Yeah, and that fly ball hung in the air for almost 4 seconds, which gave Shannon Rhodes enough time to track it down, go up against the wall. I don't think that she expected that ball to travel as far as it did, but it just shows you the power off of Mulipola's bat.
Here is Tori Vidalis right behind her and rips that foul. Tori was just hitting lasers at batting practice yesterday in the dome on the other side of the parking lot here at Parkway Bank Sports Complex. Yanez trying to limit the damage, and Tori takes a big swing at that.
Well, and that's a big vote of confidence for Yanez to get that swing and miss. There's been a lot of contact off of her and a lot of foul balls, but for her to throw this rise ball up and in and get a swing and miss is a big deal for her confidence in the circle.
This has popped up and could stay in place. Sam Fisher's got it in foul territory and makes the catch. So Yanez with a nice response after the first two reach, but one across for Team Mulipola in the first.
Regardless of how it's made, while officials are not 10 points. There you see that.
Back in Rosemont, points on the line for this first inning. Team Mulipola plates one run, and now it's up to Team Garcia to get that back or fall behind in the point total. You see Rachel Garcia putting herself in that DP spot tonight. Finished second at AUX by just 14 points last season. This lineup looks really dangerous.
Well, and you know this lineup is packed if Rachel Garcia is putting herself in the 7th spot. Used to seeing her hit 3, 4, maybe 5 in the lineup.
We'll see what they can do against the second ever Athletes Unlimited softball champion, Alicia Ocasio, who dealt with some injuries last summer. She comes from Florida, where she was tremendous, but she looks determined this year.
Yeah, Alicia Ocasio is going to be a pitcher who spins the ball and really varies her speeds. She'll throw 4 different speeds, lots of different off-speed pitches, and her changeup. It's a good example of it there. And late break, too, that you'll see from her. A lot of north and south movement.
Just rare to fool somebody like Haley McClenny at the plate, who is one of the best still doing it and best to ever do it right now, and that misses outside. Ball 2. For McClenny, it is year number 4, her 5th season. What I mean by that is 2 different seasons last year, AUX, and then that full championship season as she swings and misses through that, and looked like she said, I saw it.
Because did you see what Alicia Ocasio just dropped it down to? About 52 miles an hour. She's throwing 67, completely sold it. Another off-speed pitch there. And you'll notice, too, that Ocasio changed her windup. We're used to seeing her have a very big delivery where her arm swing goes way back behind her and almost over her head. And the offseason decided just to stay forward in her glove because of her right shoulder injury.
McClenny underneath this one, deep right field. Mendez goes back, and it's, oh, looks like it went off her glove and over the wall. And Haley McClenny, with her first AB of the summer, ties things up.
Haley McClenny gets her barrel to that inside pitch, and she is just on time with it. The ball is flying off of these barrels already in this game, and we've seen 2 well-hit balls toward the right side of the field, and this one goes over the head of Nicole Mendez. Jury's still out whether that hit off of her glove, I think, or not, or if it just hit off the top of the fence. But how about Haley McClenny ties up this game with 1 swing right away, first at bat of the season. Home run for her.
Just 1 in the 3 series last summer at AUX. She is just tremendous, and that makes way for Sis Bates now in the 2-hole. She's the defensive MVP of AUX softball last year, and that's really what she's known for, but right behind McClenny here for Team Garcia. Ahead 2-0, misses outside again, 3-0.
I think that one thing that you'll notice if you're a fan who just came off of watching the Women's College World Series is the pace of play here. There's a 15-second clock in between pitches, and it keeps the game moving. And for a pitcher, think about, as Ocasio walks Sis Bates there, but you think about how tough that can be for your heart rate and just how fast you have to recover pitch to pitch. When you're looking at Alicia Ocasio, she'll really vary all types of pitches: fastball curve, rise, drop curve, drop ball, and changeup. But it's a speed variation from 65 miles an hour down to 47 miles an hour. And when you look at the spin, it's her rise ball at almost 1,800 revs that she's able to pitch in. They're one of the top spin rates in AUX this season.
As a broadcaster now, you like the faster pace, though. You like adding that element to Athletes Unlimited. Lorenz, laser off the base of the wall. Sis Bates gonna round third. She's headed home, and she's in there. And Team Garcia answers back with 2, and they've got 10 inning win points to kick off AUX.
Amanda Lorenz goes way back with Alicia Ocasio back to the Florida days. She gets a pitch out over the plate and hits that so hard. Such a simple swing by Amanda Lorenz to score Sis Bates. Tough 3 hitters now that Ocasio has faced, with the McClenny home run, the 4-pitch walk to Bates, and then the Lorenz RBI double.
Makes way for Shannon Rhodes, the Rookie of the Year from the championship season last summer. Out of Texas with the 10 first inning points already secured. Good spot there from Ocasio. But back to our conversation, pace of game, adding in that 15-second clock. Do you like that move?
I love that move. I could not love it any more than I currently do at this point in time. And speed of the game has just drawn way out at the college level for sure. So to implement that pitch clock, it just keeps the game moving. And also the hitters having to keep 1 foot in the box too does a good job of keeping the game moving and trying to eliminate some delays.
And you'll notice hitters step out at times on a foul ball. There's something like a wild pitch as Ocasio gets Rhodes swinging for out number 1, looking for a quick response here.
And look at the pitch location here by Ocasio. Drop ball right on the outside corner. Perfect pitch location to get Rhodes.
Off speed to Sam Fisher there. Takes a big swing through strike 1.
I mean, that changeup, Chucky, is just unbelievable. Also mix in an off-speed drop ball too and vary her speeds.
Ground ball left side. Stuart Hunter takes care of it, and there's 2 away.
Next up, the first baseman, number 5, Danielle Gibson.
Danielle Gibson Horton, the first baseman out of Arkansas. Year 2 for her. It was frustrating last summer. Got off to such a great start at AUX. Dealt with some injuries throughout the rest of the summer. Coming back healthier and ready to go. First AUX player with 2 home runs in the same game last summer, something that she was familiar with at Arkansas, hitting for the home run cycle.
Yeah, I think she's used to that in her career, multi-home run games.
And just a sophomore when she did it at Arkansas.
I'll tell you what, Ocasio is having so much success whenever she's mixing her speeds. It seems like the 2 hardest hit balls by McClenny and Lorenz have been on something 67, 68, but when she's varying her speeds, getting some good swings and misses.
Down the left field line, long run, and Jasmine Jackson couldn't quite track it down. Alicia Ocasio talks a lot about scouting, watching film, how big that was for her in her championship season of 2021. That's a conversation we've had a lot. That is a great spot from Ocasio as she gets out of it, but 2 runs across, and it was Haley McClenny to kick things off.
Haley McClenny answering right back for Team Garcia with the leadoff home run on a 3-2 pitch, just out of the reach of Nicole Mendez. Team Garcia pulls ahead 2-1.
Ten-inning win points for Team Garcia as they pull out in front in the first inning, 2-1 over Team Mulipola. It is opening day of Season 2 of AUX Softball. We take a look at our Week 1 draft recap, and it was Georgina Korick taken by Morgan Zirkle with that first overall pick. Pitchers were the hot item on the board. 5 of the first 10 selections. Megan Faremo, one of those. She was the first rookie taken at number 5, and we see Yanez tonight, who was number 10. She's in the circle for Team Garcia. Let's go down to Savannah Collins with more.
Hey, thanks, Chucky. You know, this draft wasn't broadcasted to fans, so I'd love to share a little bit about what it was like watching these 3 captains put together their teams. Deja and Morgan, they're veteran pros at this experience, and Rachel is the one who really stuck out to me. As great of seasons as she's had, she's never been in this position before, but man, did she look relaxed. This did not faze her putting together a team, and I asked her after, I said, Rachel, from the outside looking in, you look like you had no nerves about drafting a team. And she said I didn't. You know, it went smoothly. All the picks that she wanted came to her, and it really went smooth for Rachel Garcia in her first time putting together a team.
Rachel Garcia going Haley McClenny with her number 1 pick in that 3 spot. Amanda Lorenz and then Taylor Edwards, as there's the first out there of this second inning. Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, her first at bat since 2021 after having her son. Yanez off to a good start here in the second, just trying to settle in.
Yeah, Savannah, we talked to Charlotte Morgan, the facilitator for Team Garcia, and she talked about how she talked to Rachel Garcia a lot before that draft, and she was so proud of her. What was it like for you in that draft, just maybe watching her, Rachel, watching that, maybe even the pre-draft, Savannah, of them communicate and work together?
Totally. Those facilitators and captains were locked in going into this draft. They had come to the Dome, were really sitting together and strategizing. And what I asked Rachel what was her strategy in the draft, you can see it in her picks. So she said she really wanted defense. You'll see that going with McClenny first, getting Edwards as her catcher, one of the best defensive, if not the best in this league. Bates as her middle infielder. So that was her focus going into this draft. She said she described this team as one with a ton of personality. So you really saw that play out, how she had a game plan, and man, did she execute it. Now she's put together this roster. It's really shining through.
Now Alicia Ocasio trying to help herself out. Savannah, how much do you see the facilitators being used by these different captains, and how much does it differ captain to captain and how they use their facilitators.
You know, it's been neat to see how these captains interact with their facilitators, and I have to shout out Danielle O'Toole, who's a facilitator for Deja Mulipola in this game. Being at practice and watching her work and really getting to sit down and talk to her about this experience, her philosophy is whatever the captain doesn't want to do, I'll do it. You know, if they want to be able to step away from that role and really focus on playing, or maybe they're a pitcher and they need to be able to do that, that's where these facilitators come in. And looking at O'Toole, watching her work with the pitchers this week was fascinating. The little tweaks that she was making, and then she's in the bullpen with Mulipola. They made a really great team. Just hearing them chat back and forth, talk about things, even some things we've seen in this game or things I heard them talk about in practice this week.
Yeah, Danielle O'Toole told me yesterday that she's going to give away all of her secrets now, Savannah, and you probably got to hear a lot of those secrets in the bullpen watching her work with the pitchers.
Totally. She is a student of the game through and through, and what's neat about Thule is that it doesn't just apply to pitching. You know, one of the things they were talking about in BP is her and Deja were together, and they go, you know, maybe teams haven't practiced a ton of bunt defense. Let's bunt in game one. That's how they got Aubrey Leach on base. You know, so just being able to have minds like that can bounce back and forth, you see it play out, and it's why these teams can be so successful. But that's what's been neat about Thule is she said she's loved getting to embrace the parts of the game she used to miss as a pitcher, getting to be at BP and hitting practice and things like that.
You also get to be down in the dugouts, which opening day, these teams are always excited. There's always a ton of energy and personality, but what's the atmosphere been like down there so far?
I would say a lot of maybe good nerves. You know, there are a lot of these athletes who aren't competing throughout the year. This might be the first time they've seen live pitching in a long time, and you can kind of feel that energy. I think the anticipation is high as Athletes Unlimited grows and this audience grows, just knowing that they want to put out the great product that they know they can. So there's, I think, good jitters in this dugout right now.
Next up, the left fielder.
Savannah, thank you so much. Keep it up. We will check in with you as we go on.
Thanks,
Such
y'all.
great information, Savannah. Really appreciate that. One thing I was thinking about, Chucky, is from the aspect of a player who's not a captain, just the nerves every time there's a draft to maybe anticipate a little bit of where you're going to go, but really not know 100% for sure.
I think it's always interesting to see the strategy, and we talked about it leading up to this week once we got a chance to see the teams. You know, Rachel Garcia as a pitcher goes with 3 position players to start off, trusting herself as one of the top pitchers in this league, not feeling like she needs to bolster that rotation as early as, say, Morgan Zirkle, who goes pitcher heavy off the board with Georgina Korick, and then Carrie Eberle with her 3rd pick. But I always think it's interesting to see the strategy that the players have. There's a lot of ways you can go about it.
A lot of different things factor in.
Big swing right there from Jazz Jackson, and Yanez has a clean 2nd inning. Really great response from Brooke Yanez after she gives up 1 in the 1st.
I'm kind of nervous, to be honest. But I'm also excited that I get to be a captain first week. It's an honor to wear the C on my chest. It's something that obviously we all work hard for and that we got to that point. So, but I don't want to make it to where I'm just the captain. Like I want to make it a team decision and what's best for the team. So having the team's input a lot of the time, I think, is also what makes a captain.
Well, Rachel Garcia finished second at AUX last season, 8th in the championship season. She was the first overall pick back in 2021, but missed that year dealing with injuries, so she returned to the scene last year. She was tremendous, and then getting to see her this week, Amanda, I thought just exuding confidence. This is going to be a fly ball in the center for Victoria Hayward. But Rachel Garcia, very confident right now, looks comfortable with what she's doing.
On both sides, too. Just to think about how all of these athletes can do a lot of different things. Pitchers who hit, infielders who can play every position, outfielders who can play outfield and infield. I mean, a lot of them do so many different things. And, of course, Garcia, prime example of that.
Alicia Ocasio trying to follow in the footsteps of Brooke Yanez, who really settled in that second inning. A quick top of the second. Sachelle Palacios with her first at bat of the summer. Line drive foul down the left field line, and it's already an 0-2 count. And we are feeling, you talked about it in the break, we're feeling that pace of play right now.
Oh, you can tell. I mean, my heart beats faster because I'm trying to keep up pitch to pitch. So I have to believe that it keeps the athletes on defense more engaged. Same thing with the hitters.
Up and in from Ocasio. Talking about Alicia and her preparation, how much film she likes to watch earlier, and she credited former Florida pitching coach Jen Rocha as she gets the strikeout of Palacios for out number 2. Said she was a huge part of that. Well, don't miss Wednesday night. Our doubleheader starts with the Subway Series matchup at 7 Eastern, the second game of a 2-game series between the Yankees and Mets at Citi Field, followed by our West Coast primetime game between the White Sox and Dodgers, the middle game of a 3-game series, both of them ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. 1-1 as that one misses outside to Abby Ramirez, longtime pro out of Michigan. Lives in the area. That one also runs outside to Ramirez. 4th season out of Michigan, played with Haley Wagner and Sierra Romero there. They were the national runner-up in 2015 to Florida. Fouls that one out of play. A half-hearted swing to stay alive there for Ramirez.
Yeah, how about the fact that Ramirez used to be a right-handed hitter? I mean, just remember her being in the box at Michigan and as a pro, and you're just used to seeing her in that left-handed box, but grew up as a right-handed hitter with a little bit of pop in Illinois.
That broke the Illinois State High School home run record as Ocasio gets her swinging. And a quick second inning, zeros. The points roll over, so the 3rd inning now worth 20. 2-1, Team Garcia over Team Mulipola. Those second inning points roll over to the third, so this is worth a possible 20 points for every member of whichever team wins this inning. Well, get your ticket to the AUX Softball Virtual Fan Fest by joining the Unlimited Club. Hear from your favorite players, Sis Bates, Haley McClenny, and more. Experience one-on-one meet and greets, giveaways, and more. Join now for just $20 a year at auprosports.com/membership. I'll tell you right now, the chance to talk to Sis Bates and Haley McClenny, you do not want to miss that. Just talking hitting with McClenny, defense with Sis Bates. Those are A-plus conversations to have as we get a look at Victoria Hayward. The lineup turns over on Yanez here. Nice spot right there to Hayward for strike two. What do you like about Brooks so far?
Yeah, I like the way that she's settled into this game and has continued to work from ahead when she got through the first few hitters, but still going right at hitters.
Tapped right back to her. She gets Victoria Hayward.
And you'll notice too, she's not going to throw really hard. She's not going to throw 65, 70 miles an hour. In fact, whenever we collected the data using the Aftertech system, this was her miles per hour on all of her pitches. Didn't really get above 55, 56 miles an hour, but you see her a little bit more amped up here with all of her pitches, hovering more around 60 and creating a bit more speed variation with her changeup and off-speed pitches. And I think that is what's helping her to have success here, is her spin and getting these hitters to be just a lot of soft contact off the end of the bat.
I love to, because there aren't coaches here, the conversations we got the chance to hear these pitchers having with each other, talking about game planning. Peyton St. George was talking about when she got here last year, as this is hit hard to right field, and Aubrey Leach sends one over the right field wall and ties this game at 2 and puts her team in prime position here in the third.
232, majestic feed out to straightaway right field. 75, Aubrey Leach, there it is.
I mean, lefty on lefty matchup, and Aubrey Leach says, no problem. Look at where this pitch is up in the zone, and she still gets on plane with that pitch. Quick hands, that pitch was up and in. Not an easy pitch to handle, but clearly Aubrey Leach went up to the plate with a plan, executed it. We've seen her do a little bit of everything, a bunt single, and then a bomb towards the right side that came off of her bat with an exit velocity about 76 miles an hour.
232 feet over that right field wall to tie it at 2 and put Team Mulipola in a great spot for those 20-inning win points. Now Kaylee Clifton, who reached on a fielder's choice. Clifton grew up in Wayne, Oklahoma, always wanted to be a Sooner. It's this to deep center field. McClenny tracks it. And there's 2 outs.
Yeah, we had just talked about Brooke Yanez starting to settle into this game, and then she's having to face this order for the second time in this game. And you can see some better swings off of her, more barrels.
That's an interesting conversation, too, is talk about all the film and the tools that these hitters have, the professional level and the collegiate level. It is hard on pitchers, as McClenny has some great range. She'll make it a little bit easier on him out there in center field. But Aubrey Leach, the solo shot, and we're tied at 2 going to the bottom of the third. Bottom of the third, tied at 2, and 20 inning win points on the line. Team Mulipola plated 1 off the Aubrey Leach solo home run in the third. If they can put up a 0 here, they will take those 20 inning win points. See if Alicia Ocasio can get it done. Had a really good second inning in a game that is just flying by right now. Very competitive so far, and some of those nerves are starting to wear off for these players as they settle into this game.
Yeah, you said it. The game is flying, the wind is flying, the ball seems to be flying at times. A lot going on. It's awesome.
Back to the top of the order for Team Garcia and Haley McClenny, who led off the bottom of the first with a solo home run that right at the wall over Nicole Mendez in right. Six straight retired for Ocasio, trying to make it 7, and she does. The sidearm throw to first, and there's one away.
Easy play for Ocasio, who can handle any position that you put her at. You can put her in the outfield, you can put her anywhere in the infield. Of course, she's a pitcher too, but I bet she could catch too if you needed her to do it. She could handle it.
She might be, there are a lot of versatile players here, but Alicia Ocasio might top the list. It's just outside to Sis Bates, who walked and scored in the first.
Well, I like how Ocasio calls herself a three-way player. Oftentimes you hear two-way player and you think of Rachel Garcia and somebody like Alicia Ocasio, but she calls herself a three-way player because of the way also that she plays defense. So you know that she can swing it, you know that she can pitch it, but also you can put her anywhere on D.
Made some nice catches out in right field last summer. She'll play for Puerto Rico this summer as well. WBSC World Cup qualifiers. She will head to Spain for that with Puerto Rico. Longtime member of that team since 2013. Former number 10 overall pick in the NPF to the Chicago Bandits, who played on this field, and gets Sis Bates swinging for out number 2. 5th strikeout for Alicia Ocasio. Well, don't forget, for every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited AUX season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. Stay tuned throughout the season to see how many trees will be planted thanks to Aspiration's support. Plenty last year. It was really all about the bats. Danielle O'Toole ended up at the top of the leaderboard, and rightfully so. She had success against the hottest bats in the world, it seemed like, in San Diego. But Deja Mulipola broke through in the championship season last year to become the first ever position player to be crowned Athletes Unlimited softball champion. It's the duo of Ocasio and Mulipola trying to get it done for Team Mulipola tonight, pitcher and catcher.
You can tell that Mulipola is so good at calling pitches too. It's something that goes unnoticed about her at times. But already in this game, just being able to make the adjustment from early on in the game with hitters looking for Ocasio to throw the harder stuff. And since then, being able to mix in her changeup, her off-speed drop, and her rise ball too, that kind of serves as a different speed as well. Her rise ball coming in at about 62, but Ocasio can bring it in this game at about 68. So it's just like her being able to vary these speeds is what's impressed me so far.
3-1 to Lorenz, misses ball 4, close. Amanda Lorenz is on with 2 outs. I have to think that battery, too, is even more important here. I mean, you talk about in the college game how big it is for catcher to have a great relationship with pitcher, but here, you're making a game plan together.
And you're making a game plan, you're quickly getting to know each other, and quickly having to make the in-game adjustments to adjust to a pitcher that could be the first time that you've caught her, could be the second or third.
This is skied into left field, right on the line for Jackson, and she makes the catch. 2 clean innings in a row for Alicia Ocasio. That's 20 points for everybody on Team Mulipola. We're tied at 2. Team Mulipola, Team Garcia knotted up 2 apiece, but that was 20 inning win points after the rollover inning in the second. Team Mulipola plates 1 in the third. And Alicia Ocasio closes the door on Team Garcia in the bottom of that inning. We have a new duo here in the circle and behind the plate, and it's the former James Madison star, Odyssey Alexander, taking the circle.
Odyssey Alexander will bring in a rise ball, curveball, screwball, and mix in a changeup. I'm interested to see if we see anything new. She didn't want to give away anything yesterday whenever I chatted with her if she's going to be bringing anything new to this season, and she just kind of smiled, kind of smirked, wanted to keep it under wraps. So I'll be on the lookout with you.
Odyssey Alexander out of Boynton, Virginia. She led James Madison to the Women's College World Series, won their first 2 games over the Oklahoma schools, Sooners and the Cowgirls, before losing 2 to Oklahoma to get knocked out. First pitch up and in. She faces Tori Vidalis. It's the first batter. Taylor Edwards now behind the plate in place of Sachel Palacios.
I like, too, how Odyssey Alexander will complement Brooke Yanez. They just saw the lefty, who is more of a spinner, doesn't really break above 60 miles an hour very much. And now you have Odyssey Alexander, who will want to throw hard up and into these right-handed hitters that she faces. More up in the zone, too, with her rise ball.
Popped up back just over us here in the press box. Charlotte Morgan is in her 2nd season as facilitator. She's with Rachel Garcia this week on Team Garcia, and it's interesting to see quick pitching change. That was something we talked about before we came on the air. You know, last year, I think we saw in both seasons, AUX and the championship season, sometimes you let the leash get a little bit too long, and in this league with these hitters, you're going to pay for it. But today they make the change, and you just wonder what those conversations were like leading up to this game. Hit high into center. McClenny took a big step back, coming on and cannot make the catch. There is a lot of wind swirling right now here in Rosemont, and you just wonder how much that affected Haley McClenny in center field.
Yeah, trying to get a good read off of the bat, but the wind is just blowing like crazy. Sometimes it's blowing right out, and that's how Haley McClenny read it originally, but at times it will blow a bit towards right field, and that's what kept that ball from going so deep out to center field. And Haley McClenny tried to correct, but just could not get there. Good hustle by Tori Vidalis, who's laughing with Haley McClenny right now about how she dropped that in front of her.
Still McClenny so close to making a tremendous catch. And now Kelsey Stewart-Hunter off the end of the bat. Tough play, great spot between Ramirez and McClenny, and now 1st and 3rd with nobody out here in the 4th.
Just off the end of the bat, it broke her bat. In fact, she ended up just with the handle in her hand. That feels so weird as a hitter when that happens, but Kelsey Stewart-Hunt's gonna love the fact that she was able to just place it pretty much out in right center field for a hit. Now, back-to-back hits.
For Kelsey, that is her first hit in competitive action as a mom. Her son Trace was born last summer, will turn 10 months old next week. She sat out last season, had Trace, and said it has been the best experience she has had. Now she's back on the field and still getting it done. And Savannah Collins has more on that.
Kelsey ahead of this season, and I asked her, what's your goal? You're coming back, you know, there's a lot of anticipation to see you out on the field again. She said, I have one goal. I don't want to strike out this season. And I asked her, that's a pretty lofty goal and super specific. Why is that? And she just said, you know, I really want to come in aggressive. That's what I'm holding myself to. I don't want to be an umpire in this game. I want to put myself in it, and I'm not going to strike out. So that's what she set her sights on. She said, you'll see that aggression in her ABs.
Well, and you just saw in her last AB, swinging at the first pitch that she saw, still being able to find a way to get a hit. You notice that even in her first at bat, too, a hard line drive to first base. Looking good early in the season.
absolute superstar at the University of Florida, longtime Team USA member from 2014 to 2021. Ocasio trying to bunt Stuart Hunter over to second. Now 1-2 count for Alicia. So many great storylines all throughout this league. So many tremendous athletes. And for many, Alicia Ocasio being one of them, we mentioned playing for Puerto Rico. There's a lot of national team members in this league, not just Team USA, but Puerto Rico, Mexico, Great Britain, Italy. And basically today is the start of what will be a very busy summer for them on the softball field, whether it's with Athletes Unlimited or with their national teams.
Yeah, just an absolutely jam-packed 2 weeks for the AUX season, but then when you think about how much softball a lot of these athletes would play in June, July, and then moving into August, it's a lot for them, and I know that they're all excited to get some reps here to make the most out of the rest of their summer, and a lot of these athletes seeing live pitching for the first time in almost 9 months.
Ocasio sits on this. McClenny back in center field. Vidal is going to come home. And Team Mulipola on the board in the fourth. 3-2, they lead Team Garcia.
It's good execution there by Alicia Ocasio, who was called upon earlier in her at-bat to put the bunt down, but still is, even despite getting down in the count with 2 strikes, able to hit a sac fly, a different type of sacrifice, right, than that sacrifice bunt she was asked to do earlier in her at-bat to give Team Mulipola the lead.
Odyssey Alexander now with the runner on first and 1 out. Working against Courtney Gano, who singled to start her season. Mentioned Hayward and Gano announced as new assistant coaches for Heather Tarr at the University of Washington. Courtney spent 5 years there, missed a year with injury. As a junior, hit 18 home runs and drove in 59 runs. He's always had just an elite bat. Ahead in the count, 2-0. Nice spot there from Alexander on the inside corner.
Yeah, you can tell that's what she wants to do in these at-bats, especially these right-handed hitters, is go hard in with her screwball, trying to get them off of the plate, trying to work more off the plate on the inner half. And you can tell, too, Gano stepping a little bit more off the plate, giving herself room on the inside corner.
Bounces to Taylor Edwards, and Stuart Hunter takes second. Little conversation out there with Sis Bates. Remember, these players, you never know whose team you're going to end up being on. They'll redraft after every series. There's 3 series here at AUX as opposed to 5 in the Athletes Unlimited Championship season. That's fouled back toward the press box. You've got me on that, right? Like, if the windows are open on us one day, you'll reach over and snag it for me?
Oh, yeah. That's exactly what I want to do, is maybe break a finger, break a hand, and just to keep you safe.
Yes,
I'll do whatever
thank you.
it takes.
I appreciate that. I'll tell you what, you and Madison Shipman just...
yeah, a little sarcasm for you, a little
bit,
dash of sarcasm.
Danielle Laurie, she might have my back up here. She might reach over and snag one for me. That's hit down the right field line. Long run here for Rhodes, and does fall in perfectly for Gano, who is into second with a double. Coming home, the throw not in time, and Stuart Hunter scores.
Shannon Rhodes has been tested in right field and has tried to cover a lot of ground. She's had to go back up against the fence, and now this one just falls right in front of her, makes a decision to not dive, not slide. There's 3 defensive players, too, converging on that play. Kelsey Stuart Hunter being aggressive from second base. As soon as she saw that ball down, she took off, showing her wheels. scoring another run for this team.
A 2-run lead for Team Mulipola. Deja has to be happy with what she's seen so far. Just execution, too. Alicia Ocasio, we saw her with a couple sacrifices, but as a team right now, they've done a great job executing at the plate.
Yeah, and these outfielders are just getting tested with this wind. We've seen so many towering fly balls, so many line drive home, like just all, they have been tested all 4 innings that we've had here in this game.
Down in the 9-hole in Jazz Jackson. You see that wind, and it's just kind of swirled around. We've seen it straight out. We've seen it from left to right. We've seen it straight in.
And Team Mulipola has done such a good job of not striking out. Just 1 strikeout for them in the afternoon so far, and continue to put pressure on this defense. And you look to the other side, Team Garcia has struck out 5 times against Alicia Ocasio. Makes a difference.
It's in there from Alexander, and we've seen that with the ball falling in front of McClenny, the one we just saw with Rhodes. Not hard hit balls, but in play at the very least. Jackson ahead 3-1. Fouls this one out of play, so Odyssey Alexander doing a nice job to bounce back.
Yeah, Chucky, you're so right about the ball just having eyes in this inning. Out in front of McClenny, off the end of the bat from Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, and then that Gano double that just fell into right field. And sometimes that's just how the game's going to treat you at times. You're loving it, though, if you're Team Mulipola.
Down the left field line, and that does go foul. Almost another one sneaking inside the foul line. Jasmine Jackson in her 4th year of Athletes Unlimited Softball. San Jose, California, played her college ball at Cal. Full count again. Another foul ball. So many tough outs in this league. Jazz Jackson down in the 9-hole. We always talk about McClenny and Hayward, Aubrey Leach, Morgan Zirkle, but I mean, just top to bottom for these pitchers. I have to think, you as a former pitcher looking at this, it's mentally you have to be so tough to go through this lineup.
Yeah, and talking to Odyssey Alexander as she walks Jasmine Jackson there. Tell you what she said in just a minute.
Well, tomorrow we've got the final 2 parts of the 4-part 30 for 30, the luckiest guy in the world. The film continues the unprecedented look into the life of Basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton, and of course the soundtrack for the Big Redhead's life. And this documentary is The Grateful Dead. It all starts 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN. If you missed parts 1 and 2, you can always watch them anytime on ESPN+.
Is that how you feel about me? Just the luckiest guy in the world?
Absolutely.
That you get to be in the booth with me?
Ask me in
It's
4 days.
Fitting. I already know the answer. I don't even need to ask you. I'll read your mind.
So far, so good. And Odyssey Alexander is going to come out. And it'll be the team captain, Rachel Garcia, with her first action of the season in her 2nd year out of UCLA, calling her own name right here. With 2 runners on and just 1 out in the 4th inning. And already 2 runs across. She is the superstar, one of the biggest names in softball. Tremendous debut last year, 2nd in AUX, 8th in Athletes Unlimited. What do you expect from her?
Yeah, I expect for her to come out and throw with some good velocity. She's one of the hardest throwing pitchers that are in the league too. She'll bring it up to 68 miles an hour with her rise ball, which up spin and throwing that hard is tough to deal with as a hitter. And then we'll also mix in her changeup a bit as well as her curveball. When you're looking at her pitch repertoire, it's just her ability to throw the ball exactly where she wants to with her mix of pitches, but that velocity is tough to go up against as a hitter.
And it's back to the top of the order, so she'll face Victoria Hayward to start off. For Rachel Garcia, it's hard to pick her best accolades, so you have to really narrow it down, but she has plenty of them, and you can rep some of her gear. Everyone loves to rep Athletes Unlimited. Be sure to check out all the great gear, including the new AUX Softball drops. Go to shop.auprosports.com to get yours today. The 2015 Gatorade National Softball Player of the Year before she even got to UCLA. National Pitcher of the Year, National Freshman of the Year, 4-time All-American. The list goes on of what she accomplished at UCLA and what she will most likely continue to accomplish at the professional level. Just one out here for Victoria Hayward.
And it's been interesting to me to see all these pitchers and look at their data that was collected a couple of days ago when they threw, and we collected data with the Yacker Tech that was just a bullpen, out in the field by themselves, but how they're able to amp it up when it comes game time and they're actually throwing to a hitter and their velocity up more. Rachel Garcia touching 70 miles an hour with one of the first pitches that she's thrown of her outing. Big speed mix.
71 on that one right there to Hayward. Now a 2-1 count here. Jackson at first, Gano at second.
And I think a lot of people don't know, too, about Rachel Garcia. You know all those awards that you talked about, Chucky, but it's all the injuries that she's battled through in her career. 5 knee surgeries and also carpal tunnel done on each hand.
Big swing right there from Hayward. That was really everyone, all eyes were on Rachel Garcia last year in San Diego because she was returning from an injury.
It's like a curveball that you could tell surprised Taylor Edwards a bit too. She was expecting on the inner half, ended up turning into more of a backdoor.
Garcia trying to battle back, but Victoria Hayward walks, and the bases are loaded with one out.
The second baseman, number 75, Aubrey Leach.
Aubrey Leach has already gone yard once back in the 3rd inning. We saw 2 grand slams at AUX last season. Sachel Palacios hit the first. Courtney Gano, who stands at 3rd, walked off the season with a grand slam to win the final game of the year.
Well, and this is one of these at-bats, I feel like, that a lot of MVP points can ride on an at-bat like this. Bases loaded, a chance to break open the game. And just everything that she's already shown in this game by being able to use her speed, laying down a bunt, pop with her home run. Now she could find an alley here, score 2, maybe even 3 runs with Hayward's speed at first base.
That just misses. Rachel Garcia trying to kind of dial it into that outside corner. Did the same thing against Victoria Hayward, and you could see her a couple times kind of asking the home plate umpire, Alex Leap, where was that pitch? That's upstairs, now in trouble.
And this next pitch for Aubrey Leach, unless it's just more on the plate, a mistake, I feel like you're going to take it. The lack of command that Garcia has shown in this game so far.
3-1. Big cut right there, and you were probably right because that might have been ball 4.
Yeah, you could tell, just thinking that you're going to get something more over the plate. And it gets Garcia back into this count, back into this at-bat.
Full count delivery, big one. Right to the same spot and gets the strikeout.
She doubled up with her backdoor curveball and was not scared to go back to it. She got Aubrey Leach to swing and miss twice. I repeat, twice, with the bases loaded. One of the hottest hitters who started out this game to swing and miss 2 times. Not easy to do, but Rachel Garcia does it for that second out.
Last chance is Kaylee Clifton. It's already been a good inning. They've got 2 runs, but the bases loaded. You almost feel like a little momentum could go the other direction if Rachel Garcia can get out of this here.
Well, and you're seeing a lot of movement from Rachel Garcia, and I think she's trying to figure it out in her first outing so far of the season.
0-1 got Clifton. That hit by pitch worth 8 points for her, and Courtney Gano comes in to score for the 3rd run here in the 4th.
And sometimes when you're a pitcher and you're trying to control that movement, you'll see that. A hit by pitch, you're trying to go up and in, but right now, Rachel Garcia is just spinning the ball so well with her velocity, and she's trying to figure out her command with all this movement that she has, and ends up hitting Clifton.
Having some issues. This is not the hitter you want to see at the plate right now. It was a good spot for strike 1 to Deja Mulipola. She'd love to break this open here in the top of the 4th. Fouls it straight back, and Rachel Garcia out in front. See the big C there. The jersey of Deja Mulipola. Rachel Garcia has one in the circle as well. The team captains will wear those this season. It's also a 2022 patch on the left sleeve of Deja Mulipola in honor of her being crowned champion last year in the championship season here in Rosemont. 1-2. A little too far.
Threw a curveball the pitch before, a little bit too far off the plate. That one was closer to the strike zone, and Garcia is again thinking that this could be a called strike for her. I do think that it was just a few inches off the plate.
Would she dial up on the 2-2 just a little further out that time? And these are the great battles you're going to get all summer long here at AUX, and then the end of July when the championship season begins. The cat and mouse here. Taylor Edwards wants to talk to Rachel Garcia. What are those conversations like, that quick one in the middle of an at-bat?
Yeah, just trying to talk to her most likely about where she's missing. Rachel Garcia is asking Taylor Edwards. I think she initiated that timeout. Maybe Taylor Edwards was running out there at the same time, but it's an important pitch with the bases loaded, trying to find the zone.
2 outs. Popped up and into the stands.
You don't see these pitchers miss over the plate very much at all. The hitters are so good. So as a pitcher, you want to try to get every inch, every centimeter that you can off the plate for a called strike if you can.
Another 3-2. Swing and a miss. Garcia wins the battle and strands the bases loaded. But Team Mulipola plates 3 in the 4th, and they lead 5-2. Team Mulipola in line for the 10-inning win points. If Team Garcia can't respond, they get 3 and they lead 5-2. Let's go into the game with Air National Guard and Victoria Hayward.
First day on the job? First day? First day jitters?
Are you new here?
Here we go. I was nervous. I had to eat something. I love that up. Good job. Dave, got you, bud. So no matter what happens today, today's been a good day for me. Regardless of what happens in this at-bat. Which is good to say going against. Oh my gosh. All right, we got some work to do, but we're getting there.
4th year, still getting the jitters.
So she grabs a snack,
There
I
you
think
go.
is what she said. That's one of my go-tos too, I think.
Well, Victoria Hayward just tremendous, still getting it done. The first to ever sign with Athletes Unlimited. That's why she wears the number 1. Former All-American at Washington. Part of the first ever Canadian softball team to medal at the Olympics, winning bronze at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics.
Yeah, just gives so much back to this game. Fully invested in a lot of different ways.
Moving on to the Washington Huskies coaching staff today, but was a member of the San Diego State University softball team who just made their first super regional in program history. She was the associate head coach for a couple seasons there under Stacy Newman-Denise. Talk about a coaching staff who can play. Rachel Garcia was on that staff a couple years ago as well.
Had an outstanding career at Washington and has just brought in all of her athleticism to this league, and always has just such good ideas too. Like, love Ocasio walks Sam Fisher there. Love being able to hear her insight to the game and how to make it better, and being on the PEC for a few years.
A big part of this league and everything that's gone into it since 2020, the inception. So Sam Fisher leads off the bottom of the 4th with a walk against Alicia Ocasio, who has really shut it down. The last couple innings has been really clean. Working quickly and efficiently through this talented lineup as we see Danielle Gibson for the 2nd time. She struck out her first trip to the plate.
Yeah, Team Garcia needed that Sam Fisher walk, or just needed their leadoff to get on. Very few base runners against Ocasio and this Team Mulipola defense ever since that first inning, whenever Team Garcia scored those 2 runs.
Since that Amanda Lorenz RBI double, just a couple walks, and then Gibson with her first hit of the summer. Big time swing there. Asked Tony Baldwin, Georgia's head coach, a couple weeks ago, how's her swing looking? She was a volunteer assistant there this season. He said she looks really good. Raves about her ability to work with their hitters as well. Said she will be one of the best hitting coaches in the country very soon. Now 1st and 2nd for Rachel Garcia. Chance to help herself out right here.
Yeah, when Danielle Gibson with that hit too was off of an off-speed pitch from Ocasio, something that Team Garcia has struggled with in this game is recognizing that pitch, but it just takes an at-bat like that, a swing like that, to put it in the back of Ocasio's mind to then change her game plan.
Wow, that's a laser, and what a stab! Double play! Aubrey Leach with a tremendous play at 2nd.
That came off the bat at 87 miles an hour, aka 0 reaction time for Aubrey Leach, or I would say a little reaction time for Aubrey Leach, who's playing pretty deep at 2nd base, but positioned perfectly to absolutely rob Garcia in turn 2.
Taylor Edwards, that's a rocket left field. That got out of here in a hurry. 2-run shot for the veteran, Taylor Edwards.
Taylor Edwards just answers right back again, sitting on an off-speed pitch. Gibson made that adjustment, and now Taylor Edwards also able to make that adjustment. Look at this, a line drive swing. 82 miles an hour off of the bat. Not a lot of hang time on that because that was a line drive level swing on that changeup that she just demolished.
Taylor Edwards, her 4th season of Athletes Unlimited, hit 3 home runs last year at AUX in San Diego, and now we get a look at the first rookie selected in the draft this week. Megan Faramo. Alicia Ocasio departs. Really good in the 2nd and 3rd, but a little trouble here in the 4th. And she leaves with a 5-4 lead for her team.
You could tell that they really started to adjust to Ocasio in this inning, and now we get our first look at the rookie. Megan Faramo just finished her career at UCLA. More of a hard thrower, more up in the zone. Again, going to complement Ocasio really well because Ocasio is throwing more off speed. Almost every pitch dropping it down to 55, 56. Megan Faramo going to be more of a hard thrower, up in the zone, rise ball, curve ball, screwball mix.
Well, history will be made as Athletes Unlimited is bringing the first ever professional softball games to the Little League Softball World Series in Greenville, North Carolina on August 9th at 4:30 and 7 Eastern on ESPN2. You don't want to miss it. It's going to be an inspirational event. You talk about the heroes of the game competing in regular season games in front of those Little League softball players and all the fans. That is going to be awesome.
Yeah, a lot of these athletes played Little League that you saw in their questionnaire. So I'm sure they're excited to go back to their roots, and those Little League players will be so excited to see them live.
Well, and as you know, the Little League World Series is just such an incredible event. The players, the fans, the atmosphere, it's just second to none.
Well, and the Little League Baseball World Series does the same thing when they bring in an MLB game, and the fans get to watch it live there. And now softball is doing the same thing. Love to see it.
It's the continued growth of the game at the professional and the youth level. You said it, almost 82 miles per hour on the exit velocity on Taylor Edwards' shot. Back-to-back, Rachel Garcia with an absolute missile, and then Taylor Edwards doing the same thing. Megan Faramo, 66 miles per hour with her first pitch.
Just laugh thinking about how Team Willie Pola scored with just hits off the bat, balls that fell in, and then Rachel Garcia has the hardest hit ball of the entire game, but it goes down for a double play. I mean, our game's crazy.
Piper pinch hitting. That's to Leach, and much easier than the first play she made this inning, but 2 runs back for Team Garcia. Not enough to save those inning win points. 10 more for everybody on Team Mulipola. We got a great one here on opening day. Taylor Edwards, the 2-run shot for Team Garcia, pulls this game a little bit closer, but you see there Team Mulipola, 30 inning win points collected in the 3rd and 4th innings. And day here of AUX. Tori Vidalis will lead things off. 5-6-7 here against Rachel Garcia, who a little bit of command. I mean, wasn't wild with pitches, but just couldn't quite dial it into the corners. She tries to do it again there on the inside corner to Vidalis, and she's a little bit upset right there. Thinks that should be a strike.
Well, you can tell she's committed to not putting the ball over the middle of the plate. She's not going to give in. Trying to find other ways to win, to get swings and misses.
And you talked about it too. I mean, that's how fine the margin is in this league. You cannot go over the plate or else these hitters will make you pay.
So good at picking up mistakes out of the hand. It's sitting on a certain pitch, certain side of the plate. So if you miss to that side or more on the plate, you're gonna hit it hard.
1-1. Fouled straight back, kind of off the handle there for Tori. She finished 18th at AUX last summer, 10th in the championship season. She has 2 top 10 finishes to her name in 2022 and then 8th in the inaugural 2020 season when Kat Osterman became the first ever Athletes Unlimited champion in any sport. Garcia misses outside. Last year in San Diego, there were 8 players still in the running heading into the final day of the season, which is just outrageous. And that does get the outside corner for Rachel Garcia.
I mean, that's the most on the plate that she's going to come right there.
Our Wednesday night doubleheader starts with the Subway Series matchup at 7 Eastern. Game 2 of the 2-game series between the Yankees and Mets at Citi Field, followed by our West Coast primetime game between the White Sox and Dodgers. The middle game of a 3-game series, both games on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. It's the outside corner here on the first pitch to Kelsey Stewart-Hunter. Talking to Taylor Edwards behind the plate.
Yeah, and good job of Garcia. A couple of backdoor curveballs in the outside corner to Kelsey Stewart-Hunter. And this strike zone, I mean, they want to get the very edge of the strike zone called in this league. And I think that's why you're seeing Garcia just trying to find it, trying to understand it, trying to see where she can put these pitches side to side on the corners and get it called.
It's this one high into left field. Lorenz has it. Routine out there for out number 2.
The right fielder, number 8, Alicia Ocasio.
Rachel Garcia seems like she is kind of figuring things out in that zone. Gotten a couple calls on the corners here in her first full inning of work.
And I think what makes her so unique as a pitcher is her backdoor movement. So backdoor curveball going to start to a left-handed hitter in the right-handed batter's box and then break back across the outside corner. That's to a left-handed hitter. And it's her upspin too, like that. Her curveball and her rise both have upspin to it. So even her curveball that she's throwing, she'll throw it backdoor too, has a little bit of upspin to it. And it's just so tough as a hitter to recognize if that pitch is going to continue to stay down or move up out of the zone.
Alicia Ocasio done a little bit of everything so far. A little small ball, sacrifice fly as well. This time nobody on. She can swing away. A 2-1 count from Garcia. Outside corner. She's working all parts of the zone too.
That is that backdoor curveball. It is working for her very well in this game. And pitch is being able to locate that pitch and understand it just works centimeters, Chucky, to find the outside corner and get a called strike. And then the next pitch gives a different look on the outside corner. So the first one breaks back towards the plate. That last one is screwball that breaks away from the plate, away from a left-handed hitter. Different looks that she'll bring on same side of the plate.
Big cut there. Ocasio threw it, and a perfect inning from Rachel Garcia. 1-2-3 with a pair of strikeouts. And her team coming to the dish. 10 inning points on the line in the bottom of the 5th. Well, for every run scored during this year's Athletes Unlimited AUX season, Aspiration is committed to planting 10 trees. So stay tuned throughout the year to see how many trees will be planted thanks to Aspiration's support. Haley McClenny, Aubrey Leach, and Taylor Edwards, they're all doing their part for the environment.
And a lot of line drive home runs, too. 3 home runs in this game. That Haley McClenny one just barely got over, but you know, counts the same as like a 280-foot home run. 221 will do it, as long as it goes out.
Megan Faramo back out there in the circle for Team Mulipola. And Haley McClenny leads off for the 3rd time in this game.
I think she's pretty comfortable being a leadoff hitter, not just at the beginning of the game, but all throughout.
Solo shot, a ground out to the pitcher, and now first look at the rookie Faramo. McClenny didn't like that call on the outside corner, but this is right where you want to be if you're the rookie, ahead of Haley McClenny. Not that things will get any easier. I was talking to Haley McClenny yesterday, and just in awe listening to her talk about hitting and her approach, and she said, look, if I can get them to throw every pitch they've got, it's over.
Well, and you can tell that that's her mindset, too. Always has been as a leadoff hitter, and really known to be one of the best leadoff hitters in the world, and maybe just even one of the best hitters in the world, because of her ability to foul off pitches, see a lot of pitches, make a pitcher make a mistake. And 2, she not only is able to hit for average, but to hit for some power, too, at times, like we saw with that home run. Such a good athlete.
Big swing there, and how about that one for the rookie Faramo?
Yeah, not easy to do to get Haley McClenny to strike out. This is a rise ball, and you look at the location too. It is out more over the plate, but still gets McClenny to swing and miss through that pitch. That's one of the pitches I think that we've actually seen more over the middle of the plate. McClenny gets a strikeout on the rise ball.
Megan Faramo, so impressive, had a tremendous career at UCLA as Sis Bates fouls that straight back. 2-time Pac-12 Pitcher of the Year. She won 101 games for the Bruins and struck out 1,000 batters. And we got the chance to watch her throw a bullpen the other day, and she is really impressive. High-level athlete. Looks like you could give her a softball, a basketball, a tennis racket, whatever you wanted to, and she would find a way to get it done.
Yeah, such a good athlete. She said in that little bit of time, too, when UCLA ended their season after regionals before coming here, actually pitched to her brothers, would catch her at home.
Oh, nice job by Bates to stay with that, and a base hit up the middle with one away.
A really good job by Sis Bates to stay in her legs and get that changeup more down in the zone, going from 68 miles an hour the pitch before to this 54-mile-an-hour changeup. Look at how she just gets her barrel there any way she can. Her back knee pretty much touches the ground. What a good piece of hitting by Sis Bates.
Sis will head to Dublin this summer with Team USA for the WBSC World Cup qualifier that's being held there. Good spot by Faremo to bounce back. First pitch to Amanda Lorenz. Well, how about our first look at our leaderboard? The top 10, Aubrey Leach stands above the rest. The home run and the inning win points helping her up there with 80 so far. Edwards and McClenny, the lone members of Team Garcia, thanks to their stat points that they got for their home runs and the one inning win that they got as a team.
Some early leaders for MVP points, too, there on the leaderboard.
This one will be interesting, too. It's not always super clear cut, so we'll see. Aubrey Leach certainly has a case. Defensive play as well as the bat. But you get the feeling this one hasn't been decided quite yet. This is fouled down the left field line. Really, you look at somebody like Megan Faremo, and there's a long way to go, but she's in a great spot. If you can come in as a pitcher, even for just a couple innings, and shut down one of these lineups.
Yeah, it's not just going to go to one person either.
Yeah.
3 different MVP 1, MVP 2, and MVP 3, all awarded different amounts of points. Fun to see, too, who the players vote for. It's player initiated, player nominated.
Just wonder, get close to these teams and see which way they vote at the end of this. Big pitch here for Faremo with one away, and the speedster Bates on first. That one bounces to Deja Mulipola.
Yeah, speaking of speedster, you think about these rookies that are out here pitching with a pitch clock for the first time, or coming from college, or some of them have played internationally and been up against a pitch clock, but coming from their college seasons where there isn't a pitch clock to now up against a 15-second one.
Ground ball left side, chance for 2. It would have been really tough, and it wasn't the cleanest turn at second there, but they get the lead runner, Sis Bates.
The right fielder, number 6, Shannon Rose.
Good out there to make it 2 here in the bottom of the 5th. Chance to roll over some inning win points. That's when it gets really exciting too. If you roll over a few innings, you'll start to see the tension build. Faremo gets the inside corner to Shannon Rhodes. Off the handle, Faremo has it in the circle, and she puts a 0 on the board in the bottom of the 5th. So those points do roll over, and there's 20 on the line as we go to the 6th.
Ball. I hate it. What did you say? I hate it. Yes. I hate it. Yeah. And I have the mic on and they got me saying I hate it. So. Change up. Oh, I love that. I'm inspired. Great pitches. You got them off the end of the bat. Like, just tough, just hard luck on those. Hard luck. Yeah. You did your job. You did your job.
Sam Fisher knows how to keep everybody loose and also knows how to keep it real, telling Odyssey Alexander, like, hey, hit off the end of the bat, just hard luck in her outing. And I say so far that Odyssey Alexander probably has had the worst luck in the game so far.
A couple of those bloops belong to her, and Sam Fisher, always gold when she's got the mic on, always willing to do it as well. A tremendous player and an even better human being over at third base. Has been in the league a long time. Now Courtney Gano behind 0-1 to Rachel Garcia. Misses inside from Garcia. Gano 2 for 2, a single, a double, and driven in a run. That's 30 stat points on the single and double. Going right side this time, under the glove of Gibson, and Ramirez stops it, but Gano is on. Tomorrow, the final two parts of the four-part, 30 for 30, the luckiest guy in the world. The film continues the unprecedented look into the life of basketball Hall of Famer Bill Walton. Starts at 8 Eastern, 5 Pacific on ESPN, and if you missed parts 1 and 2, you can always watch those anytime on ESPN+. Just never know what you're going to see in that 30 for 30. That is absolutely for sure with Bill Walton. Certainly you will be entertained, and they did give a single there to Courtney Gano, and that's 10 more points for her, and she's 3 for 3 on the day. So we get a look at Jazz Jackson for the third time. Trying to lay down the bunt, foul ball, and it's an 0-2 count.
I gotta love the start that Courtney Gano has had so far in this game, 3 for 3. But looking to finish out her career in this AUX season. Will retire at the end of the season.
Dedicating this season to her father, Greg, who passed away earlier this season. Her son, Gregory, who was born in 2020, will certainly be watching Mom. She showed us a picture the other day of her and little Gregory together each of the years that she's played in Athletes Unlimited.
And she said her dad was her mentor her whole life.
Having a great day on the field and off the field with the new job getting announced. And now it's always nice when, as a coach, you can go back and say, see, this is how you do it. Like, I've done it. I'm still doing it.
Yeah, exactly. Stay up to date with all the things on and off the field, I think.
1-2 to Jackson. Great spot from Garcia, and she is dialed into that outside corner now.
Yeah, the way that she's throwing against these lefties is so tough because she'll come with backdoor movement or like this, more of like a screwball movement that will move away from a left-handed hitter. Just owning that outside corner and getting every inch of that outside corner.
Garcia, 5 strikeouts to the 9 batters she's faced. She struck out 2 in each inning she has thrown so far. Replaced Odyssey Alexander back in the 4th inning with just 1 out, walked 1, struck 2 out, hit 1 with a pitch in the middle of those 2 strikeouts. Back to the top of the order with Victoria Hayward.
And throwing with really good velocity, too. These hitters just don't have a lot of time to make a decision. Hitting 70 miles an hour a few times. Haven't seen over 70, but she can bring it. And then change speeds like that.
And to do so, to prepare for this season, you have the 9 months off between the championship season and AUX. Rachel Garcia is the pitching coach at UC San Diego. I mean, you're talking about working, coaching a team, trying to lead a program, and also stay in world-class shape and at the top of your game as a pitcher.
You are. And her ability to find the inner half to a left-handed hitter like that after not playing a game for 9 months, I mean, that is pinpoint precision on her curveball inside to a left-handed hitter. Talked about how she hadn't thrown over 70 yet. That last curveball that was inside that strike call to Hayward was 71.
Looking really in control in the circle since entering. Hayward fouls it back into the stands. The inning points have rolled over to the 6th, so 20 on the line, but also the game win is the big one. That's worth 50. Team Garcia, they'll play a doubleheader tonight too, so when you look at what's happened so far, you look at the situation right now with 1 out, they're down a run. I mean, there are games in Athletes Unlimited that can really be a gut punch when you don't get a lot of win points, and right now, they're looking for some. They just have 10 so far. They'll play Team Zirkle coming up after this one at 8:30 Eastern on ESPNU. Aubrey Leach, big swing right there for strike 1.
Yeah, we've seen 3 different pitchers for Team Garcia. Only pitcher that we have not seen yet that is on their team is Elizabeth Hightower, a rookie from Florida. All teams having 4 pitchers on staff.
It'll be interesting to see too what they do in game 2. I think when I didn't see Rachel Garcia on the card for the first game, I think I assumed, well, we'll see her in game 2 for sure, and maybe we will, but they've not been shy about using their arms here in the first game of the season.
Well, and Odyssey Alexander should be pretty fresh. Her relief outing, or her relief appearance, didn't last too long through, I think, almost 30 pitches whenever she came out. Again, had that bad luck, so she should be fresh. And Garcia here now at 53 pitches that she's thrown in her relief appearance.
Did you feel like you had any sort of different preparation when you're talking about a doubleheader, having to throw 2 times in a day, but you obviously have that break in between? Did you feel like there was a different type of preparation?
It stays pretty much the same. You know, you're preparing for all your outings the same, and maybe not going to pitch as much in between games to get loose for that second game, but other than that, things stay pretty much the same. There's Odyssey.
Talking to Lily Piper, Sachel Palacios, and the Team Garcia dugout. Have a little snack. Left side. Nice play there at shortstop by Sis Bates. Well, everybody's used to that. Every softball fan in America knows what Sis Bates is about at shortstop, and there's 2 outs.
Yeah, just always fundamentally sound, even at throwing on the run, knowing that she has to charge this ground ball to her hard because of Leach's speed and the fact that she went to her slap, so she has that head start out of the box, and so smooth at shortstop, Sis Bates is.
There is probably not a left side of the infield in America ever with more personality than Team Garcia between Sis Bates and Sam Fisher over there at shortstop and third.
Very true. We'll keep you laughing over there.
1-0 pitch coming from Rachel Garcia. It's the 3-hole Kaylee Clifton. She was hit by a pitch her last time up. And that one got her too. So 8 more points. Kaylee Clifton earning them the hard way tonight. And the bases are now loaded with 2 outs.
Ends up getting her just a little bit on that back leg. Just clips her.
And here is Deja Mulipola for the second time. This one Blooped into center, shallow center for Abby Ramirez to take care of, and Rachel Garcia for the second time has stranded the bases loaded. 20 on the line for her team. Our Wednesday night baseball doubleheader, starting with a Subway Series matchup at 7 Eastern. Second game of a two-game series between the Yankees and Mets coming your way from Citi Field, followed by our West Coast primetime game between the White Sox and Dodgers, both of them on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and the ESPN app. Just down the road here in Rosemont from Chicago. Young fans having fun trying to score some points down the left field line out in the concourse area, and Sis Bates trying to stop them right there.
Yeah, Sis is missing a lot of those balls out there. She's going to need to work on that.
Not sure how she feels, but yeah, she's thinking, do I have to be the poster?
Have a little bit of movement out there and cover some ground.
Courtney Gano has entered for Team Mulipolo over at third base. The third baseman for Team Garcia steps in. Sam Fisher 0 for 1 with a walk tonight. And for many of these players, you talk to a lot of these players about the familiarity in the league, hitter to pitcher and vice versa, but this is one that you're not familiar with in Megan Faremo. So for many of these hitters, the first time they have seen her. Fisher skies this foul territory. Tough run for Vidalis, and she can't make the grab. That was really tough against the netting down the right field line.
Yeah, gave her all to get down there up against the fence and the net, trying to track it down. That ball was in the air for a while. Again, the wind still blowing a good bit. Not an easy play at all. Good effort by Tori.
Tori spent the offseason as a colleague of ours, SEC Network analyst for softball in the studio as well during the postseason.
Yeah, a lot of these athletes were in the booth in the postseason and in the regular season as well.
Alicia Ocasio, Nicole Mendez, two others. This is hitting the left field. Jackson has it, and good contact there from Sam Fisher. But she is the first out here in the bottom of the sixth. Let's go down to Savannah Collins with more.
Thanks, Chucky. I'm over in the gold dugout right now, and since Megan Faremo entered this game, all eyes and conversation has been about her. Every single batter that's coming back from their at-bat, even sometimes in the middle of their at-bat, they will turn around and word and mouth things to their dugout. They are really trying to figure her out right now. Most of these batters haven't seen Faremo. It's one of the biggest advantages you can have as a rookie pitcher, and they are really trying to piece together what she's got in her arsenal and how they can try and attack her in these last two rounds through the lineup.
Another fly ball out to Jazz Jackson for a quick 2 outs. I think the real question, you saw Brooke Yanez in the dugout there, is she giving away the secrets to her new team?
Well, between her and also Rachel Garcia, too. Yeah. I mean, Rachel Garcia pitched with Megan Framo at UCLA, spent a lot of time in the bullpen together, so a lot of familiarity.
Yeah, how about this matchup? Framo, Garcia, two absolute superstars from UCLA. Framo gets the outside corner for strike one to Garcia.
Yeah, and as a pitcher in college, too, you're going up against your teammates a lot, throwing some, or having some scrimmages, some inter-squad scrimmages, throwing a lot of live, so.
Garcia to left center field, and Jasmine Jackson stays busy. 3 flyouts to the left side, and how about this? 30 points on the line for the inning and 50 for the game here in the 7th.
We using our voices, helping the voiceless. We stand for our cause, not fighting for straws. We changing the laws, we give it our all. It's a bigger picture, we paint the walls. We are unlimited. Look at the game, we changing it all. Unified, on the front line, for the one time, 'cause we ride, no divide when we ride.
Those opening day jitters have faded away. They were never in the stands. Everybody's having a blast here in Rosemont. But what a game we have to open the 2nd season of AUX Softball this year in Rosemont, Illinois. 5-4, Team Mulipola leading Team Garcia going to the 7th, where there are basically 80 points on the line. 30 for the inning wins that have rolled over and 50 for the game. And this is where it can get really interesting here. Team Mulipola leading the way with those inning win points so far. They could do a lot of damage in this inning. Tori Vidalis, Kelsey Stewart-Hunter, and Alicia Ocasio due up here for Team Mulipola. Popped up on the infield. Fisher takes care of it, and there's 1 out.
I feel like both to right-handed hitters and left-handed hitters, Rachel Garcia has had so much command of her arm side of the plate, being able to mix her spins, mix different looks, but ultimately have such good upspin with her rise ball and her curve ball.
Another chance for Kelsey Stewart-Hunter. First pitch swinging. Garcia drops it for a second and then eats it. Stewart-Hunter is aboard.
Yeah, Rachel Garcia was pretty smooth to get back to that ball. I thought she would have had a chance at first base, but decided no go.
And look who it is, Kaylee Clifton down in the chair chat. The first of the AUX season. Kaylee, welcome. Welcome back to Athletes Unlimited. What has this opening day been like? This game has been outstanding so far.
I know. I mean, you couldn't ask for a better game. I mean, it's a close game. It's fun. And you can't beat the weather either. Like, it's just all around a great first day, and I don't know, just happy to be here.
Kaylee, what was the off season like for you? What did you do in the off season?
Some OU softball alum. We were up at the OU facility, actually. Kaylani Ricketts, Lindsay Elam, and those are my girls, and we grinded it out. You know, OU softball has Mondays off, their off days, so we would be in there on Mondays, and any other time we could get in there. Hitting and all the things.
What's the recipe in Norman, Oklahoma? What makes that program what it is?
I mean, you got to shout out Coach Gasso. She does a good job of just like turning girls into women, and just like the culture she brings to the program. Like you're bought in, you understand, you go to war for her. So, I mean, she knows what she's doing. She focuses on the small things, and the small things turn into big things, and you see that play out for them really well.
Kaylee, what do you like when we were watching the games at the World Series? Like, where did you watch them? What kind of feels were you having watching them? What did you notice?
I mean, I got to be in the stands, front row, behind the dugout for the first few games, and then had to be here for the championship series, which was not ideal, but you know, it's just, it makes me a really proud alum. Like, couldn't be any happier. Like, they're so fun to watch, and if you just watch them, like, they just do everything right. And they, obviously the whole celebration thing was a big thing, but like, I love you celebrating. Like, it's hard to get there, so I don't know, I'm all for them.
Okay, back to this game too, Kaylee. What is this team's name this series, and how did you guys come up with it?
Hot Commodities, and honestly, we came by it pretty organically. Deja, in our draft, was talking to one of the other captains, and someone, I think it was Zerk, maybe like, you're stealing all my picks, and she's like, sorry, we're a hot commodity. And so that's how it came about, and we're like, you know what, that felt right, let's just go with it. So Hot Commodity.
Love it.
Kaylee Clifton, we appreciate it. The first AUX chair chat of the season. We'll add that to your bio for the media guide too.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate
Add it to
it,
the
Kaylee.
resume. Thank you.
Thank you.
Kaylee Clifton in the 3-hole for Team Mooley-Pola tonight. Couple hit by pitches. That's 16 points on the leaderboard, and 2 outs here for Courtney Gano. This game has been outstanding. This is kind of AUX, it seems like. It's still playing softball. There's still 7 innings. There's 9 players out there, but there's something about it that just adds to the drama as Gano grounds out the first time they've been able to get her out today. And a lot on the line. Potentially 80 points. Team Mooley-Pola leads by 1.
Speaking of ladies, unlimited love language. Say it as we do. Make your voice heard and join the unlimited club.
5-4, Team Garcia needs a run to extend this game here in the 7th inning, and Taylor Edwards leads it off. We saw this earlier.
Yeah, line drive, home run to left field. Lays her off of her bat. She sat back on a changeup off of Alicia Ocasio and just snuck it over that left field fence. 244 feet came off of her bat at an exit velocity of 82 miles an hour. You see that pitch speed didn't give her a lot because it was an off-speed pitch at 55, and she still was able to have that exit velocity.
Yeah, that is just pure power, all generated by a Nebraska alum who, along with her sister Tatum, made a real mark on the softball world when they went to the Women's College World Series. They went 0-2, but lost both of those games in extra innings by 1 run. And the twin sister battery, I think, kind of captured a lot of people, a lot of fans across the country. Tatum was a facilitator last year in San Diego at AUX, and there was a great moment when she was in the opposing dugout and Taylor Edwards hit a home run, and Tatum kind of leaned out the dugout, watched it, and just gave it a nod. But I think there was the sister and the competitor battling for which one would win out when Taylor Edwards hit a home run.
Competitive at their core.
Tremendous career for Taylor Edwards. Fouls it back off Faremo. 2-2 count. This is her first look at Megan Faremo because she was the last batter that Ocasio faced. 2-2. This is angling toward foul territory. Long run out there in right field. That is Alicia Ocasio out there. Already showing off her versatility here in game 1. Edwards just got a piece of it.
Just barely with that changeup. A pitch that we haven't seen a ton from Megan Faremo in this game. The best time to throw it.
It's hard to hide much, too, in this league. Is you get 3 teams. These hitters are going to start to see you a lot over the course of the summer. 2-2 again. Edwards just taps it down the third baseline. Faremo throw not in time. And Taylor Edwards turns on the Jets for a leadoff infield single.
Went back to that changeup, and it was hit off the end of the bat like a swinging bunt. And Faremo, who is a very good athlete, did all she could to get Taylor Edwards down the line. Her teammates absolutely loving the hustle. I mean, they were celebrating that foul ball before when she fouled off that changeup, and then also celebrating her hustle down the line. Late in this game, 80 points on the line. You love to get your leadoff hitter on base, and Taylor Edwards legs it out.
She gets a rest. She gets the 10 points for the infield single, and then Sachel Palacios comes in to run for Edwards. Abby Ramirez trying to lay down a bunt. Misses, strike 1.
I think we've seen a little bit of everything in this game, Chucky. We've seen the long ball a few times. We've seen some infield singles. We've seen some lucky singles and lucky hits. And we've seen some pitchers step up too and get some big swings and misses, strikeouts, 3 up, 3 down innings. I mean, this game really has had a little bit of everything. I love it.
And it's been well played. I mean, you think about the time off. We'd mentioned that 9 months between seasons, and this has been a clean game too. Just 1 error so far in this. Great at bats, great pitching and hitting both.
And if you are Team Olipola, you have a rookie in the circle with the game on the line. Not only getting her first taste of professional softball, but her first taste of pro softball with the game on the line.
And outside corner, got it! Ramirez down looking, and there's 1 away.
You gotta want the ball. She made pitches to Taylor Edwards, didn't get an out to show for it, so she's able to go right at Abby Ramirez with this backdoor curveball. And she knows, too, who's on deck. It's the top of the lineup. She needed an out there with Haley McClenny on deck, and now the top of the lineup coming up for Team Garcia.
McClenny struck out swinging against Faremo in their first battle. That one upstairs for ball 1. Haley talks a lot about just trusting her hand-eye coordination. You'll hear players in the league talk about her wasting pitches up there. She'll just get in a groove and start fouling pitches off, and I asked her about that, and she said, if I can see it a few times, I trust myself that I can get a good piece of it. Too far outside, 2-1.
Yeah, she set a really high bar with her first at bat. I mean, first at bat of the AUX season, leadoff home run. And since then, been trying to see the ball better out of the pitcher's hands back in the 3rd and 5th inning when she had a couple more at bats.
Inside that time, 3-1. This feels like Faremo understanding who's at the plate right now. She really hasn't danced around many people. Swing and a miss.
Needed that pitch right there to get back into the at-bat.
One out, one on, 80 points on the line. Got her again. Megan Faremo, back-to-back strikeouts of Haley McClenny.
Leadoff batter got on base, and then Megan Faremo has just taken this game into her own hands, striking out Ramirez and now McClenny. Rise ball with a little bit of backdoor action to it for the big swing and miss of Haley McClenny. That was a mega one.
Now Sis Bates into left field. Jasmine Jackson over, and Megan Faremo in her rookie debut was tremendous. 80 points for Team Mulipola for the game win and the 30 rollover inning points.
Can tell she just finished the season. She's feeling good, just had in-game action freshly coming from UCLA, and maybe a little something to prove too with UCLA with an early exit in the NCAA postseason. She brings that energy into her first professional outing, and she just absolutely shines for this team to help get them the win and so many points.
Game 1 of the AUX season is in the books, and it's Team Mulipola, led by Megan Faremo in relief, winning 5-4, taking 110 points for their team. We'll be back at the bottom of the hour for more Athletes Unlimited AUX Softball. For Amanda Scarborough, I'm Chucky Kemp. We'll see you soon.